Okay, weekly reflection for the first official week of February. Now, first off, what was actually learnt this week? So, first thing, I've been putting off recording and scripting a VSL, recorded it, scripted it, recorded it, got it done, and figured out how to use things like ChatGPT in order to make that process easier. I also was putting off creating a pre-objection page with a video breaking down each key objection. Just done that, and it's currently in editing. How to properly interview. I read this book called Who. I've been interviewing a lot, specifically over the last few months, but I feel like the more important of a position that we hire for, the more important it is to get the interview process right. And the biggest thing that I took away from that was, even 2-3 interviews isn't really enough for an executive team lead position. We need to make sure references, we break down each individual job they previously had. And we don't only rely on the client's reference, on the team members' references. We also reach out to references outside of that network and get a gauge from not just CEOs that they worked with, bosses, but employees, subordinates, things like that. Gives us a better gauge at who we're actually going to be working with. What I'm not looking for in an operations manager, we hired one and it wasn't the right fit, and it made me realize what we're not looking for. We're actually looking for an integrator. There's going to be a book I'm going to be reading on this, but they're kind of going to be my right-hand man, and I wasn't 100% sure what to hire for. Now I'm 100% clear on what we need to hire for. I completed a 3-day fast just because I wanted to. And it made me realize that not eating is actually easy, and I'm a master of all my impulses. A lot of the things that we think we can't live without, we actually can. And it's just on the other side of a few uncomfortable days and breaking limiting beliefs, because what's easy is habitual. And what I mean by that is, for example, I wake up and every day I drink a coffee, and it's habitual and it's easy. Every day I work 10 to 12 hours a day, it's habitual, it's easy. I go to the gym every day, it's habitual, it's easy. So if you've got negative habits that don't serve you, that are habits, that's purely because it's like a pattern coded into your mind that you know that you're going to do. And you don't even think about it, right? Because the brain wants to exert as little energy as possible, and the way that it does that is by creating patterns, by creating habits that you no longer think about doing once it's kind of like carved into your being, as a sense, or your identity. And you really are just a couple of days away from breaking that habit. I'd say one of the biggest lessons that I learned on that piece is I thought that I couldn't eat without watching content, which is just ridiculous. And I sat bored and didn't eat without content. It made me realize, I'm good. I can eat without content. And another thing, I had a client call with like 10 of our clients all in one call. And it made me realize that live calls with people in my industry who run the business that I help market for, and live trainings from them on the in-clinic stuff is what's really going to take our program to the next level and our lifetime value and our retention. Tiny changes. So number one, I watched a lot of content while eating, even though that I broke the belief a couple of weeks back. I started slipping up Friday and Saturday of this week. I'm holding myself accountable. So I found that I would watch Shark Tank while eating, and what would happen was I would then want to watch more stimulating content, and I would eat my dinner, which is huge, and then I would then eat a shit ton of fruit, and then I'd go to try and work again, and my mind would just be in a million different places. I'd be fatigued, I'd have brain fog, so it just made me realize even more how important it is to be bored while eating and just focus on eating, and or just watch a podcast or listen to a podcast. So that's something I'm going to be taking into next week and today, where I'm not going to be indulging in highly stimulating content while I eat, because it's just too much stimulation and the brain's like, I want more, and then I don't end up working again. Or I'll get sidetracked and I'll sit there like yesterday and the day before I spent 3 hours on YouTube. 2 to 3 hours on YouTube watching bullshit. Don't get me wrong, Shark Tank, kind of educational, kind of fun, but it's just bullshit. Like, I could have spent that time reading, educating myself, or resting or thinking. So, big takeaway from me there, that all of it comes down to the trigger of the habit. So, like, the trigger here was me eating, watching Shark Tank, and then the reward for that, in the short term, was me sitting there indulging in content for 3 hours, going to bed late, waking up late, feeling fatigued, feeling foggy, all of these things. So it made me realize I'm going to be continuing to delegate client success calls as I transition out of client success, and team management to our operations manager we're going to be hiring soon. What went well is I got so much shit done that I kept putting off. which was content creation for my agency. Find it easy here. For some reason, I get resistance when I'm in the agency piece because I think it doesn't work when it does. So I got a lot of that done. And then I also faced an uncomfortable call, scared of what the hell our clients were going to say when there was 10 of them all on one call. So that was a really good call. Things I'm going to improve are scrolling Instagram and YouTube too much over the weekend, eating out of stimulation, not when I'm actually hungry. So if we look at my habit tracker here for the week in terms of nutrition, it went pretty well, but there was definitely some days where I went over. Now, Monday I was fasting. I did that 3-day fast, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then Monday I broke the fast at around 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. And then I ate 1,800 calories within an hour. I went fucking crazy. It was really good, actually. But yeah, like the week went pretty well. Went out for dinner on this day, which is why it's 2,600. Didn't really track it. And it just comes down to eating when I don't need to. And I really don't need to. So as long as I stay within 2,100 calories, which I'm holding myself accountable every day I'm going to do next week, then I should be good. Besides that, my gut is telling me that I need to pay attention to is I need to move out of my hometown again because I've been here for about 2 months and it's getting really boring and it's kind of lonely. So I'm going to go somewhere. If you have any recommendations, let me know. But it's just trying to coordinate who to go with, when to go. I honestly might just piece the scene and go somewhere myself and figure it out from there. Probably South Africa or Dubai or something like that. And then what work am I avoiding? Diving into more AI-focused projects as it's brand new, but I know it's going to change the game in our agency. So overall, good week, got lots done, but also lots to improve on because I slipped up a couple of times.